But it can't always be that Taylor Swift is being used. She can't always be being used. I'm sorry. It's been like 20 years of her being used, and I don't feel that that is the true story, okay?
What chance that you can have a what?
A sequence, like it starts with this.
Oh.
I mean, if Colleen has her rights, I'll go anywhere. I'll follow this woman anywhere.
Y'all heard her.
Her "you don't get to be Taylor Swift without knowing how to control a narrative" Taylor Swift's name has been entangled in the Justin Baldoni-Blake lively legal saga for months, but suddenly as the storm intensifies she's backing away. A well-timed Daily Mail article conveniently drops declaring that Taylor is taking a step back from her friendship with Blake, citing concerns that she was unfairly used as an intimidation tactic in the lawsuit. The timing couldn't be more suspicious for those unfamiliar. Taylor Swift doesn't just let the media control her image, she controls the media. When she wants a story out, it gets out exactly the way she wants it, and that's largely thanks to her longtime PR mastermind. Paintree is infamous in Hollywood circles for planning narrative silencing scandals and ensuring Taylor's reputation remains untouchable. Sources say she has deep connections with Daily Mail, so if an article appears painting Taylor as the innocent victim, it's not by accident. The article goes to great lengths to distance Taylor from Blake, making it clear that Taylor feels used and never wanted to be embroiled in this mess. It strategically shifts blame, subtly throwing Blake under the bus as the real manipulator. But is that the truth or just an expertly crafted PR move? One of the biggest red flags is the infamous kissy text Blake sent to Baldoni. She referred to Taylor and Ryan Reynolds as her beautiful little dragons, a clear power move, likening herself to a ruler wielding unstoppable influence. But now this very text is being used against Blake, framed in the Daily Mail article as uncool and unnecessary. Taylor's camp is making it clear she was dragged into this mess against her will. But let's be real, Taylor Swift isn't some passive bystander being pulled into drama. She was involved in the It and With Us production, her name even appearing in the credits with special thanks. She spent an unusual amount of time around Blake and Ryan during filming. If she didn't want to be in the mix, she wouldn't have been, and Candace Owens isn't buying it. She openly questions Taylor's sudden retreat. Why now? Why is she just realizing she was used after months of being closely tied to this project?
Politely backed away because she's conscious of her own image. She's extremely conscious. But it can't always be that Taylor Swift is being used. She can't always be being used. I'm sorry. It's been like 20 years of her being used, and I don't feel that that is the true story, okay?
The reality is Taylor knows when to exit a situation before it turns ugly. She's not stepping back because she was used, she's stepping back because it's a sinking ship. What if this whole mess was never about Baldoni but about Blake getting what she wanted? While the lawsuit paints Blake lively as a victim, the reality is that she wasn't just an actress on It Ends With Us, she was running the show behind the scenes. Blake had an unusual level of control over the production, making key decisions that even Justin Baldon, the director, couldn't override. One of the biggest red flags: Blake personally brought in Deadpool's composer, a move that strongly suggests Ryan Reynolds' influence played a role. What are the chances that a film she was starring in, which had nothing to do with Deadpool, suddenly needed the exact same composer? This wasn't just a matter of creative input, this was Blake handpicking people to shape the film the way she wanted. Can't
recording left on Deadpool, and I suddenly get a text from Blake, and she sent a little video saying, I'm doing this thing, need a score. Can you deliver it in a week? And I said, I don't think a week, but maybe 3 if we have 3. So that materialized, and so it was sequential. Was able to kind of finish up Deadpool, but I was going from the dub of Deadpool and going back to the studio at night working on Blake's film.
And Owens isn't buying the victim narrative. She points out that Blake's level of involvement in hiring, editing and restructuring the film was not normal for an actress. This wasn't just creative input. Blake had control over the film's direction in ways that even Justin Baldon didn't, and here's where it gets even more suspicious. An anonymous Reddit post from 6 months ago predicted everything before it became public.
Yeah, and is there any
just
chance
exclusive.
that we could have a sequence?
What chance that you can have a what?
A sequence, like it starts with this.
Oh.
I mean, if Colleen has her rights, I'll go anywhere. I'll follow this woman anywhere.
Y'all heard her.
This wasn't some vague gossip post, it detailed the exact power struggles unfolding behind the scenes. The post describes Black's behind-the-scenes maneuvering, including her frustration with Baldoni and her push to control the final edit. Mentions Taylor Swift's deep involvement in the project, indicating she played a bigger role than just a friend supporting Blake, hence that Blake was setting the stage for something bigger than just a lawsuit, potentially making a move to take the rights away from Justin Baldoni and give them back to the book's author Colleen Hoover. If that last part is true, then this lawsuit isn't just about creative differences or a power struggle between actors, it's about control. Blake could be playing a long game, using the legal battle to position herself as the savior of It Ends With Us and ultimately maneuvering to have the rights returned to Colleen Hoover, which raises an even bigger question: how much of this legal battle was about protecting the project and how much was about seizing total control? This is starting to look less like a scandal and more like a calculated takeover. At first glance, the legal drama surrounding It Ends With Us seemed like a classic Hollywood feud: creative differences, power struggles, and a lawsuit. But what if this wasn't just about a messy film production? What if it was about something much bigger, taking control of the rights to the film itself? The biggest clue: Blake's cryptic comment, "If Colleen gets the movie rights back, I'll do the sequel." This single statement opens a Pandora's box of suspicion. If Blake is already talking about a sequel, but only if Colleen Hoover, the book's author, gets back the rights, then this battle isn't just about Justin Baldoni, it's about taking the rights from him. Now let's connect the dots. Colleen Hoover already sold the rights to Baldwin's production company Wayfair Studios. She had no legal claim over them anymore, yet she suddenly created her own production company, Hardbone Entertainment.
Little sit down and then start looking into Colleen Hoover, and she, at some time around this period, at least according to this Variety article, launched her own production company with the aim of getting, control over her future books. Okay, look at this. This is Variety article that was published on October 7th. And it's saying Colleen Hoover novel. This is another one. Reminders of Him sets movie adaptation at Universal for Valentine's Day 2026.
After the legal drama began, why would she do that unless she believed she could reclaim the rights? During an interview with Blake, Colleen Hoover showed zero surprise when Blake mentioned a sequel. She didn't react like someone who had no idea about future plans. She reacted like someone who knew what was coming. Then there's the biggest red flag: Colleen Hoover deleted her entire Instagram account right before Baldoni filed his lawsuit. Why would an author who should be thrilled about her book being adapted suddenly wipe her social media? The logical theory: Blake and Ryan Reynolds may have secretly invested in Hoover's Produ company, positioning themselves as key players in any future film adaptations. If Colleen Hoover could regain the rights, they could cut Baldoni out completely and hand over control to their inner circle. This explains why Blake seemed to have so much power over the production, because she wasn't just an actress, she was laying the groundwork for a takeover. Now the big question: did Blake and Ryan financially back Hoover's production company? If they did, then this entire lawsuit and media storm isn't just about accusations and legal battles, it's about a deliberate power play to reclaim a multi-million-dollar franchise. When the truth starts leaking, people suddenly change their tune. The It Ends With Us controversy has taken countless twists and turns, but nothing is more telling than the sudden backtracking from some of its key players when a Hollywood scandal spirals out of control. The first sign that something bigger is at play is when those involved start retreating, and that's exactly what's happening now. Exhibitor Blake Lively's own brother-in-law, he was one of the first to publicly take aim at Justin Baldoni, siding with Blake in the legal battle, but now he's suddenly apologizing for anything unkind he said.
Robin is married to a guy, and he initially came out and was throwing shade at Justin Baldoni. And look at this headline: Blake Lively's brother-in-law apologizes. This is today, guys, for anything unkind he said amid Justin Baldoni drama, because now we're chasing down the real bullies, right?
Robin is married to a guy, and he initially came out and was throwing shade at Justin Baldoni. And look at this headline: Blake Lively's brother-in-law apologizes. This is today, guys, for anything unkind he said amid Justin Baldoni drama, because now we're chasing down the real bullies, right?